Again. Hello. I thought I would just do a quick message to you to talk about exercise. Yeah, I can't actually say I enjoy exercise. It used to be a case of when I left school, the most exercise I did was run for the bus. And even that I didn't like doing. So having a condition where you suffer fatigue and muscle weakness and just generally, getting through the day is enough. To then be told and realise that keeping your body as active as you can is going to help you. To me, it's just like, that's not funny. That's mean. I don't want to do exercise on top of, just living. But I realised that, if I don't do exercise, then everything, all my muscles get tight. I always describe it like my tendons end up 6 inches too short. So when I actually do try and stand up, transfer, anything out of the ordinary, my body just kicks off in a big way, and we get lots of spasms and pain, and it's just not a nice place to be. So 3 times a week I go to Joseph's Court, which is a wellness centre, initially for people with MS, but they've now sort of expanded to anybody with neurological issues. And the equipment there, you wouldn't believe. It's absolutely amazing. I was known as the MSRC guinea pig back in the day when the charity, the MS Resource Centre, first set up Joseph's Court. And so I was the first person on the TheraBike and the balance trainer and the FES RT300, which, if you know Joseph's Court, you'll say, oh yeah, I've heard of all those. And then if you haven't, you'll think, what the hell are you talking about? Running through them quickly, the ones that I use are the TheraBike, which is it's a static bike, but it hasn't got a saddle. It's got an area where you just can drive up to it. So if you're in a wheelchair, you can operate it from your wheelchair, or you can use one of their chairs. But the special thing about the TheraBike is it's got a motor inside it. So if you are unable or too tired to push the pedals around yourself, the motor will help you. And so it means that even on really bad days where you just think, no, I've just not got it in me, the machine will do it for you, and you're still moving. Your muscles are still getting that movement, which is better than sitting at home. So even on days where I'm thinking, oh God, the chances of getting anything out of me is like nothing, I'll still go, because I know that the machine will help me. The machine will do the work, and it means that my muscles still get moved around, which has got to be a good thing. So I do that on my legs. I also they have a brilliant part of the TheraBike where the handlebars move around, so you can hand cycle. I'm doing the action here for you, hand cycle. And again, it's really useful, because for me, I do it not in this sitting position, but actually sitting forward, so that I'm using my core muscles. and 10 minutes doing that, believe me, your core is kind of going, oh, especially when it doesn't get much exercise, you know. So yeah, so that's a TheraBike, and it's brilliant. You know, it keeps me going. If I can put in the effort, then that's great. If I'm having not such a good day and the machine's doing some of the work, then that's also great. It's better than nothing, you know. So that's the TheraBike. Then I've got Balance Trainer, which, when you look at it, it looks like a I don't know, instrument of torture, I think. You basically stand up to it. It has sort of little cups to hold your knees. You then get a bar that comes across the back of you to hold you in position. And you are in a standing position, which, for somebody who's sitting in a chair all the time, it's a real relief on sort of my upper body, that it's not all scrunched up, and you know, all of my internal organs get to have a bit of a stretch and go, oh, this is where we're supposed to be, that's better. So that's, you know, the bonus without actually doing the work. And then you've got a situation where you can move it, which when you first do it, it's terrifying, but it's on like I don't know how to describe them. It's sort of like spring hydraulics, and so you can move it. I think it's 15 degrees, 12 or 15 degrees, forwards, backwards, side to side. And obviously, you know, you're using your core muscle to do that. You're using your leg muscles to do that. Your back muscles. You name it, you're using it basically. But again, the brilliant thing about that is, even if you just go up and stand up, you are totally supported. If you are in a situation that you're completely floppy and you've got nothing to give that day, it actually has a hoist attached to it, so you can be hoisted into the standing position. And then the bar behind you can bring you up to standing. You have sort of like a tray in front of you, or a shelf or a desk or whatever you want to call it, and you can be pushed in as tightly or as loosely as you want. I tend to go for a gap, probably of about 3 inches maybe, between me and the shelf. I don't know what to call that bit. Shelf, tray. Basically, so that I have the freedom again to use my core muscles to stand up and move around, rather than you know, being wedged in tight. Because I figure, well, if I can use my muscles rather than rely on the machine to keep me upright, then you know, that's got to be a good thing. So yeah, so that's good. I mean, I aim at 15 minutes on that. Sometimes I can't do more than 5. I suppose I probably average out between 10 and 15 minutes. It just depends on, you know, how my body's feeling that day. But again, you know, even if I don't move around very much and I just stand, it means that, you know, all my internal organs are where they should be. And hopefully, you know, it all helps sort of digestion and posture and all of that sort of stuff. But my physio is always very happy when I say yes, I go on the balance trainer 3 times a week. So that's got to be a good thing. So that is kind of what I do. I then, twice a week, go on to the FES machine, which is functional electrical stimulation, I think. Basically, you get little pads. If you are somebody who's ever used a TENS machine before, you have like little sticky pads which get connected to wires. The pads sit on your muscles, and then an electric current is passed through those muscles, or passed through the wires rather, so that it then gets to your muscle and will contract your muscle for you. It sounds pretty gruesome. It can be pretty gruesome, actually. I do describe it as being electrocuted twice a week. And I'm doing that. I did it for 2-3 years, maybe, on my legs. So I used to have the pads on sort of my thighs, the top of my bum, on your gluteus maximus, to try and fire up those muscles. And that worked really well, because when I first started going, I couldn't actually turn the pedals on the Therabike. So hence why I did 3 years on the FES. Having done that, I then tried the Therabike and I could do it. So, to me, that speaks volumes, and shows me that dreaded exercise is actually worth doing. So yeah, my arms are now getting weaker. I can't hold them up very high. That's about my limit. And so I wanted to try and get the same sort of stimulation going in my arms as I've had in my legs. And they've now got a new FES machine which does upper body. So I go and have pads put on my shoulder, round on my upper back, sort of above the scapulars, and then 2 of my tricep, 2 of my bicep on each arm, and then do cycling. And it's, I'm not going to say it's pleasant, because it isn't, but no pain, no gain, and all that. It feels, I describe it as being smacked with a stinging nettle, because that's kind of where I go with it. But it's uncomfortable, but it's not like really painful. You just kind of go, oh, there's a little bit. But yeah, it means that the muscles are getting worked on a regular basis, and I'm hoping that working the upper body, the upper limbs, is going to hopefully make a difference, generally speaking. So yeah, so that's it. That is my one Monday, Wednesday, and Friday taken up. I suppose I'm there for about 2 hours on a Monday and Friday when I get electrocuted. Hour and a half on a Wednesday when I just do the Therabike and the balance trainer. But it is something that I've built into my regular week, and is routine. Can't say it's something I look forward to, but it is really interesting to realise that I can think I'm having a really bad day, and I can get to Joseph's Court and actually I have a really good day. I have really good sessions. So I'm like, oh, okay. The opposite is true. I can think, oh yeah, I'm doing okay today, and then I get there and I have a really crap session. So to me, it just sort of underlines the fact that my body really isn't my own. I don't know whose it is, but it's not mine. I have no idea what it's going to do from day to day. Whether it's actually going to do the things I ask of it, or whether it's going to do its own thing. Every day is a surprise. But yeah, exercising is important, particularly when you are compromised in your mobility, and anything you can get to do. I mean, I'm just really, really lucky. I've got, all the fantastic equipment 15 minutes from home, which is fantastic, but I know a lot of people don't have that. So even if you're in a situation that, you can get a friend or family or your other half or whatever to, move your limbs for you, it's still something. It's still better than nothing. And my local physiotherapy department in the hospital does have a standing frame. It doesn't move around. It's not all singing or dancing, but it's a wooden standing frame which you can stand up in and get strapped into. Even doing that is going to be of benefit, I think. Plus the psychological benefits of being able to say, well, do you know what? I'm doing what I can, and in some ways, I think that being able to feel a little bit in control, you're taking a little bit of power back, can have a huge impact on you psychologically, and also, when you've got a disease which just wants to take from you all the time, and you don't really know whether your body is your own because it doesn't seem to behave like that, to actually feel like you're making a difference by going out and doing some exercise, it's got to be a good thing. So that's my take on it anyway. And say there's lots of different things out there. Physiotherapy departments are fantastic. I tend to find physiotherapists generally are very very proactive in their thinking, and want to get you as active as you can be so that it helps in your day-to-day living. And any help you can get is got to be a good thing. So anyway, I shall stop waffling now. Thank you for listening, as always, and yeah, tell me about your exercise, what you manage to do, what you don't manage to do, if you've got any handy little life hacks, because I think it's good to share. Thanks very much. Speak to you soon. Bye.